Good afternoon and welcome to our Tuesday noon class hosted by Quest Trust Company that we bring to you every week. My name is Nicole Bacot. I'm an IRA specialist and I am happy to be your host today. And today's topic is big power with small accounts, investing with 10K or less. I know we've done this class a couple times before, but we're hoping to put a new twist on it today. So I'm super happy to be with you. Before we get into it, welcome. And I guess, we'll just go on and I'm going to start over. That was terrible. All right, I'm going to start over. Sorry. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to another Tuesday edition of our noon class for another Lunch and Learn with Quest Trust Company. My name is Nicole Bacot. I'm an IRA specialist and I will be your host today. Thank you all so much for joining us. We love doing these classes every Tuesday, same time, same place. So welcome back if you're joining us again from last week. Today's topic, we are talking about big power with small accounts, investing with 10K or less. So just 1 second, guys, and we will get started. All right, here we go. All right, so who is Quest Trust Company? So before I bring up all the bars that come up, I kind of wanted to show just this picture. This is Quincy and Nathan Long. These are the two brothers that started Quest Trust Company. They were actually self-directed IRA investors themselves. They have been for quite some time. So they took what they were looking for in the client experience, and that's how they built Quest Trust. So before everything else, who is Quest? Nathan and Quincy really, built Quest. So we really appreciate you all for that. So who is Quest otherwise? We are the largest self-directed IRA custodian in Texas. So happy and proud to say that. We have over 20,000 clients across the country. So no matter where you're joining us from today, we would be happy to take care of your self-directed needs. We are 2.1 billion and climbing in assets under administration. We're really proud of that. So people are finding out that Quest is the place to be and to bring your funds over. We are a little over 100 employees. Our main office is here in Houston, Texas. We also have an office in Austin and Dallas. And 34 certified IRA professionals ready to serve and help you. 400 million in undirected cash. This is actually cash that's sitting in clients' accounts that's not directed. It's not been invested yet, but that is really a lot of opportunity. So when I hear people say like, well, I don't really know where I'm going to get the money for that, or I don't have that much in my account, a lot of other people do. So definitely something to take advantage of. The opportunities that are just here with Quest for funds. We'll get to that in a second, but just interesting fact to hold on to for that. Of course, our disclaimer before we really get started, Quest Trust Company does not provide any tax, investment, structuring, or any sort of advice at all, legal advice. We don't endorse any products, services, investments type. This webinar, like all of our webinars, is for educational purposes only. And please make sure you are contacting those CPAs, your tax advisors, your financial planner, your attorney before getting into any investment. Make sure you're doing your due diligence, not only on the people you're doing the investment with, but the investment itself. Very, very important there. All right, so what is a self-directed IRA and why should you even have one? So self-directed, honestly, is just a marketing term. There's no legal distinction between a self-directed IRA and an IRA anywhere else. It's the same contribution limits, same rules under the IRS. So self-directed really just means that you are in charge of the account, you are directing it yourself, and you are telling Quest, your custodian, what it is that you would like to invest in, and our role is to help facilitate that transaction. Now, here at Quest, we do have an open architecture platform to hold private assets only. So we're really excited about that. So some benefits of a self-directed IRA: diversification. One can, of course, be a great diversification to a retirement portfolio in general. Nothing wrong with investing publicly. We just specialize in private assets. So could add diversification in that realm, or the private asset list of things that you could possibly invest in is so great. It kind of is a diversified account in itself. Another great benefit would be the tax savings. All of our accounts here at Quest grow either tax deferred or even tax free. Make sure you're getting in touch with your IRA specialist to make sure you're in the right account for you. I know everybody likes tax free. It's like our Roth IRA, if you meet the qualifications there. So instead of those returns going back in your checking account, they go back in your retirement account, letting those funds grow tax-free or tax deferred. Social investing, I really, really like this. This really allows you to invest in your community or perhaps a community nearby. You can even create jobs in the community. Maybe you're doing like a fix and flip and you need to hire a lot of people. Perhaps you're giving someone doing a seller financing deal for someone that can't get a traditional mortgage. So I love that social aspect there that you don't really get when you're picking stocks or what have you. And of course, invest in what you know best. This really allows you to use your specialty, your education you already have, to invest in your retirement. So if you're a realtor and you really have your button on the real estate market or oil and gas or what have you, this is where you can really use your education to pick those investments for your retirement plan. All right, so this is kind of what I wanted to talk about first before we really get into stuff, is retirement planning in general, saving in general, and kind of the history of it and kind of where we are now. My father's a financial planner. I kind of grew up in his office. And I heard this three-legged stools. I'm sure y'all have already heard the three-legged stool you need to save for retirement. Well, some of those legs are kind of missing now. So for instance, the pension plan, of course, people used to have one job, maybe two jobs in their whole lives. Well, now people have, 5 to 10 different jobs, switching careers, et cetera. So I don't really know of companies anymore where you work for one job at 40 years, and then at the end you get your pension. Those are just not very common anymore. So that leg kind of gets taken out. Social Security, certainly not going to make this a political webinar at all. No matter how you feel about Social Security and where it will be when you get there, fewer and fewer people are depending on Social Security as an actual third of their retirement savings. Those distributions are getting lower. So that really just leaves this one leg, the personal savings leg. So it really is kind of up to us now. We're not really getting, these huge government benefits or, these huge, pensions from employers anymore. So it is up to us to start saving. So let's get to work on that. This is another little chart that I put together. I think it shows a lot of information about retirement and kind of how much you need. This is a big question we get, is how much do I need to retire? How much, what should my goal be at my account? So before we get into that, let's have a little fun. Let's play a game. I know, but it's going to be fun. It's lunchtime. Let's see if we can wake up and get a game going here. All right. So I want everybody to close their eyes. I know I can't see you, but I'm just going to trust that your eyes are closed. And 1, 2, 3, magic. You are now in retirement. You have reached 59 and a half. You are there. You are now in retirement. So I just want you to take about a minute. Just think about who you are with. Are you with your spouse? Are you with a bunch of grandkids? Are you hanging out with your buddies? Think about where you are. Are you looking to take a bunch of cruises, maybe hang out in Europe for a little while? Maybe you're looking to take that RV trip. Thinking about the activities. Are you golfing? Are you kind of just hanging out? So who you are, where you're with, and how long are you planning on being in retirement? Some people get to retire really early and they get to end up spending, 30, 40 years in retirement. And some maybe only 20 years. So I'm going to give y'all just a couple more seconds to sit in retirement. Think about what you want to do, those retirement goals, dream real big. All right, it is now time to come back to work. 1, 2, 3, and we're back. Okay, so that was a fun little game to see kind of where you want to go in retirement. It's not like you've never thought about it before, but I put this chart together to kind of illustrate how much you need to retire. The other thing that people always say is you can live on 70% of your income in retirement. I can't imagine what expenses are going to go down that much for me, but if you gave me 70% of my paycheck, I think I'd probably be kind of upset, as most of you would be. So I didn't even do 70% because I know a lot of people can't live on just 70% of what they make. So I went ahead and did 80% of income, 90%, and 100%. I broke this down. The columns in white here are spending 20 years in retirement, and in yellow, it's spending 30 years in retirement. So maybe you retired at 65 and now you're 90. Well, that went over your 20 years. So we're going to have to account for that. So we can just even look at the first row here. So annual income of $60,000. So if you're planning on spending 20 years in retirement, 65 to 85, let's say, on 100% of your income, 60,000 a year, that's $100 million, $1.2 million. Now, if you're married, times 2, because you each have to live. So that's quite a lot of money. So even 20 years at 80% of your pay is still $960,000. And then, of course, if you're going to be in retirement for 30 years, we're going to need even more money, of course. So at 100%, at someone making $60,000 a year, that's $1.8 million if you're going to spend about 30 years in retirement, which is not out of the question. Medical things are changing all the time. We're living longer. So I just thought this was a really interesting chart to show people. Of course, if you're married, times 2, don't freak out too much. We're going to give you some tools here. But I just really kind of like showing that one to really give you an idea of, maybe where you are now and where you'd like to be for retirement. Okay, so here at Quest, we have 7 different types of accounts. We have 2 personal plans. We have the traditional IRA and the Roth IRA. Our traditional IRA is the pre-tax account. This is typically the account where your old employer 401k goes, or 403b, 457. This is our pre-tax account. So that's where a lot of those go. That's why you kind of see more traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. Pre-tax grows tax deferred. You pay no taxes on the returns and everything, goes all back into that IRA until you turn 59 and a half, the magic age for retirement for the IRS. And then you can start taking those funds out at whatever your income tax bracket is at that time. Of course, the Roth IRA, people love, love, love the Roth IRA. So if you have this account open for 5 years and reach 59 and a half, everything comes out completely tax and penalty free. So that's very exciting there. So yeah, pay taxes now or later. Totally up to you. We have a whole class on this, on Roth conversions, on our website if you want to check that out. Our YouTube channel also has a lot of information on that too. Getting into our employer plans, we have the SEP IRA. That's employer funds only. It does have a larger contribution limit than your traditional or your Roth IRA of $6,000, $7,000. These employer plans, you can get a lot more funds in. The SEP is for employers only. The simple, the employee and the employer can contribute. And then, of course, our solo 401k comes with a lot of bells and whistles. also comes with so much responsibility. So if you want some more information on these accounts and kind of how they work, of course, contact your IRA specialist or watch our class on our website. And last but certainly not least are our specialty plans. And these are kind of the plans you can get money out now, tax-free for. So the health savings account, if you have a high deductible health plan at work, make sure you're calling us to see if this works for you. So yeah, tax-free, the contributions are tax deductible and the distributions come out tax-free for qualified medical expenses. Our Coverdell Education Savings Account, this is our education savings account for children, of course. You can start taking out these distributions for qualified educational expenses as long as they're at an accredited school. So it can even start as low as kindergarten. So make sure if you're interested in any of those, get with your local IRA specialist. And of course, we have a class for that. Make sure you check that out on our YouTube channel or on our website. All right, so what type of these plans can be self-directed? Of course, all of the accounts at Quest are self-directed. And this is something that I think is really a really great strategy is partnering. So you'll hear people talk about vesting at Quest, and vesting really just means the name of the account. So of course, your Quest account name here, Quest Trust Company, FBO, standing for the benefit of, your name, IRA, and then your account number. If you're partnering with someone, you can actually partner 2 or more accounts to purchase one single investment. So this looks like a husband and a wife. They are each purchasing 50% of an asset. So they're changing the name of the IRA or the investing to add this phrase as to an undivided interest of, whatever percent it is. Partnering is great. Whatever the expenses are, each of these IRAs would pay, 50%. And then any returns the investment got, these IRAs would split 50%. So it doesn't matter the percentages, 60, 40, 101, 101, 99, 1, whatever it needs to be. The partnering, we're going to talk about that later. So definitely wanted to make sure that you knew that all of our accounts are self-directed and all of them can be partnered together. All right, so there's a few restrictions that the IRS has put on us or put on self-directed plans in general. So we'll just get through those. So disqualified people, this is someone that cannot benefit or enter into transactions with your IRA or other plan. They cannot get a benefit directly from this plan, or indirectly rather. I'm guessing who the first disqualified person is. Of course, it is you. You are the first disqualified person to the plan. Make sure you're thinking about your IRA completely separate, as a separate entity altogether. So it has its own name, it has its own account number, it has its own address. So it's really its own separate entity, completely separate from you. Yes, you are the account holder. Yes, it's your funds in there, but the IRA is a completely separate entity from you. So you want to make sure you are not making sure, you're making sure you're not getting benefit from that IRA. So let's talk about who these other qualified people are. Oh, Quest Trust Company, we're saving money over here. There we go with the lights. Okay, so the disqualified people would be you and your spouse and your lineal ascendants and descendants, their spouses, including any companies that they own, control, manage, or are highly compensated by. And the transactions that they cannot do are buy, sell, loan, trade, extend a service, or receive a direct or indirect benefit from the IRA. Of course, what in the world does that mean? The IRA can't buy anything from you. You can't buy anything from it. It can't sell anything to you. Can't trade anything. No trading assets. Can't have loans to yourself or any other disqualified person. Extending a service, this could be anything from paying for an expense the IRA should really pay for an asset in the account. An example of direct or indirect would be like having personal use of the asset, like staying in that beach house that you have as an investment property out in Florida or something. All right, investment restrictions. These I get from the IRS. No betting, no life insurance. You're betting on someone's death. I get that one. You don't. We're not wanting betting to people to die here. And then collectibles. So things that are just a bit subjective in value. So we also don't hold coins either. So art, gems, rug, wine collection, save it for your celebration for retirement. We can't use it as an investment. All right, guys. So what can you invest in? So glad you asked. We really do have several choices. So these are the 3 basic asset classes that most of our clients invest in. So we have real estate. And you can see under there, single family foreclosures. Of course, we can do multifamily syndications, options, condos, private entities. This is where you're investing in companies. There's self-storage, there's mobile homes, there's, all kinds of things, limited partnerships, promissory notes. You can, start your own promissory note acting as the bank. So that $400 million, you can use that as your investment and loan it out to people, and that's your investment. That's your return, is the percentage you're charging people. So another common investment here. So promissory notes. Oil and gas is not on here. There's a couple other things that aren't. So it's really just kind of a short list there. All right, so of course, here at Quest, we make things nice and easy for you to open your account and get your investment in there. So of course, it takes us 24 to 48 hours to open a new account for you. Very simple, very secure Adobe Sign link to do so. We'll work with you on funding your account. We can actually initiate that transfer for you from your existing IRA. Locate that investment. We have some events. And some networking opportunities for that. And of course, we have a lot of education as well. Complete those investment forms. As soon as those are in all good order, we can go ahead and send the funds out in, again, 24 to 48 hours. So Quest making things nice and easy for you. And it's going to make it even easier to open an account right now, because we are in a very special time of the year. It is tax filing year. So we are having a special. You can open up an account for free right now with a code, tax-free22 is the code. Of course, call your IRA specialist. We love to help you out with that too. All right, so big bucks and small accounts. How are we going to get these little coins to grow into our big money tree here? Let's find out. The first thing I kind of wanted to talk about was compounding interest. It's something that a lot of people I think just kind of forget about, but it's a great thing to remember. So investor number 1, she starts at 25, $5,000 a year for 10 years in a row. No more investing after 34. So, and this is an 8%. This is an average of 8%. This chart is. So you can see she grows to, almost $790,000 there. Investor number 2, starting out later, starting at age 35, he invests $5,000 each year for 30 years. And you can see he's, coming up with $600,000. So the earlier you start, you're better. The longer you have those funds in there, the better. The more you're investing, the better. So I kind of want to, let me grab another chart. There it is. Perfect. That's exactly the chart I was looking for. All right, so kind of a little example. So let's just say you're 40, we're waiting for that 59 and a half time to retire. Let's see, so these are just kind of starting amount. So this is going to be a balance that we'll start with. So let's say we started with a balance of $10,000. Make sure I made that 10,000 and not 100,000. There we go. So we have $10,000, 8% average interest. And these are just random contributions that we've kind of thrown in here. Maybe you put 5,000 in here this year. Maybe you put another 1,000 here, or, what have you. So your total contributions that you've made, 26,500, and the power of compounding interest, that would bring it to 63,000. So really powerful stuff there. And again, this is, so look, we can even start out with 3,000. At 8%. And again, maybe lower contributions. Maybe we do $2,000, every so often. So let's say we'll make a bigger contribution here when we're when we're about to retire. Oh, I think that was a 70,000. There we go. So total amount of contributions. And again, this is from age 40 all the way to 59 and a half, $24,000 in contributions, starting with that $3,000 balance. Will give you, I should have brought my glasses, $29,759. So you can see that even when we're starting with these small balances, a little bit goes a long way with the power of compounding interest. Now let's look for someone that started out younger. So let's say this is someone who they are contributing $5,000 to their IRA every year. Let's even bring this down to a 6% average. So this is someone, of course, that started at age 25, and then they're going all the way to 59 and a half. Now, these are the cumulative amount of contributions, not the amount of contributions every year. So when they were 35, they didn't make a $55,000 contribution. That's just the total amount. Okay, so $5,000, even at 6%, that's $175,000 that you would make in total contributions, and that would turn into $415,000. So again, the power of starting younger, really important there. Let's even do it with lower contribution limits. Let's do $3,000 a year at 6%. So we put in 105,000, and then we came out with 250,000. So remember those big numbers earlier? We were saying we needed $1 million. So let's say we're doing the full 6,000. Again, I'm making sure I'm not doing 60,000. 8% is kind of a more realistic. There we go. Oh. There we go. At 8%. So someone at 25, they started, and every year they put in $6,000, 8%. So it's 210. So look, that is going to get you to $906,000. That's getting us a lot closer. And that's just making the $6,000 contribution every year at 8%. Let's look at it at 6%. Of course, you're going to need to put in more to get, look how much it changes, 210,000 in contributions, and then we're coming up with about 500,000. So that interest rate and the way that you're investing, the amount you're investing, you really need to make sure, of course, that we're paying attention to that to make sure that this interest is working for you. So you are compounding your interest in the account. So, I was supposed to show you this before the Excel spreadsheet. I'm sorry. I just showed you how it worked. So let's look at some case studies and see how people are doing this in their real life. All right, I think the first one is the one I relate to the most. Children, they can get expensive. They sure can. I have 2 boys myself. So I totally can relate with Alan and his son here. So Alan's a real estate professional. Son goes to a private school. We're switching to private next year. Can't wait to pay those bills. And it is going to be expensive. So after attending a Quest event, he learned about the Coverdell Education Savings Account that we talked about earlier. He opens one for his son and deposits $1,000, which is half the contribution amount, or the limit. Alan finds a deal. So Alan, of course, is plugged into the network at Quest. And so that's how he finds his deals. It's a distressed seller. So someone's, they're really looking to, they need to get rid of this pretty quickly. So they make a quick offer, no title and title issues unknown. So he decides to negotiate an option to buy. So of course, this gives you the option to purchase this in 90 days. So he buys this contract for $1,000 for this right to have the first chance to buy it within 90 days. So that's what that option is. Right, let's go. All right, so of course he uses his son's education savings account. He submits an options contract with his son. There's our good vesting there that we need. His offer is accepted to have the option to purchase in exchange for the $1,000 consideration. So he's following the Quest protocol there. There we go. 2 months later, he assigned it. So transfer of rights, he transferred it to someone else for $10,000 to an investor he met at a local networking event. So immediately he was able to withdraw $5,000 from the education savings account, completely tax-free, to cover tuition, books, computer, and other education-related expenses. Especially since COVID, what's covered under the Coverdell education savings account has definitely increased. Things like, of course, like Wi-Fi now, computers, tutoring, online tutoring, a lot more there. So make sure you're checking that out. So that's how Alan did it. And his first, he saved, of course, he saved the rest for this future education for his son's college. All right, case study number 2. So this is partnering. This is what I was talking about earlier, when two people are putting in funds to purchase one single asset. I think this is a really powerful strategy. So I probably do say this in a couple of my presentations, but here's an example for you. So Derek and Brian found a cheap piece of land, total price $9,500. They really just wanted to kind of sit on it and see what would happen, let it appreciate over a while. This was going to be, a long-term investment for them. So they partner together for the purchase price. Of course, we have our Quest name, we have our correct vesting, our correct name. Now they are 50-50. Again, remember, it doesn't have to be 50-50. So at closing, $4,700 came from Derek's IRA and $4,750 came from Brian's IRA. Oop, sorry, we went the wrong way. There we go. So lucky land or not, so they happened to buy this piece of land that bordered a golf course, and the golf course really wanted the extra land. So 45 days later, they had an offer for $15,500. They took it. They planned to sit on it for a really long time, but they happened to pick the right land at the right time, if you will. So $77.50 went back to each of the accounts tax-free. It just went back tax-free. They did it with their Roth accounts. So building wealth through unique techniques. So maybe you don't have the money to purchase this, this one asset, but if you put your IRA, your spouse's IRA, your friend's IRA, et cetera, all together, maybe then that becomes a possibility. So two people partnered to buy the asset. The percentage of the return was 58%. Of course, much larger than CDs or mutual funds that I've seen in quite some time. Of course, can be done with your ESA, your HSA. There's all accounts at Quest, really. And all of the profits came back tax-free, which is even more exciting to do this in your Roth account. And Brian and Derek were controlled the whole time, as all Quest clients are. You let us know as the client what it is you want to invest in, and it's our role to help you facilitate that transaction. All right, so here's another one, lending and borrowing. So there was a real estate project going on, purchase price of $120,000, rehab costs between $60,000 and $70,000. The after repair value is $275,000. So that kind of sounds like, well, that's going to be a good deal. So the borrower wanted $30,000, put the lender in a first lien position, meaning should something happen, they are going to be in the first position to collect on that asset. They charge 9%. So remember, we were using an average of 8%. In this example, they're doing 9% with 2% on the back end. So you're really stuff covered there. All right, so that's kind of the setup. And I wanted to show you this, so about partnering. So one of these is an HSA. There we go. One of these is an HSA. So see, there's your HSA at work. And so everybody kind of put in together on this one, but I wanted to show you the percentages. One of these is 3.33%. So even if it's just a small percentage of the big investment you're doing, that is really how you're building. That is really a great way to build these small accounts, just little by little, put them in there, put that ESA, put that HSA, or if you're starting out with your traditional and your Roth IRAs, maybe you're only 3% of the first deal, but later and later, you get to be a bigger part because you're making money in your IRA. So this is the promissory note. They have their vesting, they have the $30,000, they have all the details, of course, for the note. So, oh, good. It was even closer. Sorry about that, guys. You didn't have to squint. So there it is. So one account was even 3.3% of the total in the partnering. So it really doesn't matter how small that account is. You can put, and there's not like a limit of how many accounts you can partner. We've seen investments where 9 or 10 people have partnered together to buy something. So I really like this strategy. The takeaways, the borrower was able to profit now. He got his funds now that he needed for his project by leveraging someone else's retirement account. The Quest IRAs were able to lend him that money. It was actually a family that got to do it. That's nice to invest as a family. So profiting today and in the future, of course, one of those was an HSA. So those funds can be taken out tax-free at any time for a qualified medical expense. Security for the investment. So should it have gone bad, they had the first lien position on the piece of real estate that it was after. So there was security there. And then all the profits tax-free. So that was exciting too. They used their HSAs and their Roth IRAs. All right, so something else that's really important in building small accounts is your network. Your network is your net worth. This is actually something that hangs in Quest. It's on another one of the TVs in the front, and it really is true. So these are some other ways to kind of get exposure, to meet people. Every area typically has a RIA or a real estate investment association that you can look up, meeting like-minded individuals there. Find a group on meetup.com. There's tons of those. Always have your business cards with you. You never know, even if you're just going to the grocery store to grab milk, just never know who you're going to run into. So have those business cards on there. And then don't be shy to ask for what you want. There's lots of people in your very same situation. What do I do next? I really need to borrow this money, or I'm really looking to lend this money. So there's investors like you waiting to work with you. So don't be shy about asking for what you want. Also, maybe have your "this is me" or your elevator speech ready for people that you run into that you want to give, a really quick little information about, hey, I'm looking for funds for XYZ project, or hey, I'm a lender now with my IRA. Do you know anybody, what have you, or, details about your project. And of course, attend Quest Trust Company in-person and virtual happy hours. So here we go. So small bucks can make big accounts. You don't have to start with a large balance to start making investments. Take advantage of tax savings by doing the investment inside the IRA. All of these can be done outside the IRA, of course, but then the returns, they come to you as income, as opposed to going back into your IRA for retirement. You're saving all that money in taxes. So a great way to grow all small accounts, of course, especially those HSAs, those ESAs, because those are the way you can get tax-free money out now. So great way to get those expenses covered sooner than later. So of course, start today. You remember the power of compounding interest. The person that started sooner ended up having more at the end, even though the person that started later contributed more. So let's make sure we take great use of today's information and open a new account and start making it work for you. So Quest offers endless free education. We are really proud of this. This definitely sets us apart from other custodians, and we, of course, love doing it. So we are here now live at our noon class on Tuesday. Saturday at 12, we'll have another exciting speaker, another topic. If you miss anything ever, you can always go to our YouTube channel and look under videos. Everything is under there. It's in chronological order. Or of course, you can always contact us. We'd be happy to send you the link. And of course, we offer in-person and virtual networking. So our virtual networking has changed a little bit. We've moved it to the last Wednesday of every month at 6:30 p.m. Central. I'm typically the one hosting that event. I make it really fun. This is a great event to come out to. Everybody gets a chance to introduce themselves and put their information in the chat box. So when we are done, you have a chat box full of new contact information and make some investment relationships outside of the call. So that's a great way to start. And then, of course, our hybrid or in-person experiences are back at our offices. We're so happy to have you back. So Houston, first Tuesday of the month, our social tonight. I know everybody is excited. It's not too late to register. I'll show that slide in just a second. Austin, you're going to be the second Tuesday of the month, and in Dallas, you are the third Tuesday of the month. Those classes starting at 6:30 with networking. Of course, we're going to serve you some yummy food and drinks. So come out and join us. Register for the event. We'd love to have you out there. So to come talk to other like-minded individuals, see what they're doing in their accounts. So this is kind of how you make your network work for you. So of course, tonight we're so excited about our cryptocurrency event. Not too late to sign up. Scan the code, it does work. So John Denza, the CCO from ErisX, will be joining us tonight for a very special presentation. We're so excited about bringing cryptocurrency to Quest and what it can offer you in your IRAs. A lot of people our clients are saying that they're really excited about using this cryptocurrency as kind of another place, maybe even hold cash or grow those small accounts. You never know. So it's not too late to join us. We'd love to have you tonight. Come on down. If you are unable to join, we are going to, of course, videotape and record the education part that will be available on YouTube. And of course, we have our Quest Expo back this year. We're so excited. It's back in person. So it's going to be at the Westin this year in Houston, the 23rd to the 25th. There's even special hotel pricing. We're going to have over 30 guest speakers. We are just thrilled to be back in person for this. So people fly in from all over the country for this. So really, this is a 2-day deep dive education network on all things, just really financial education, not just IRAs, of course. So we'll be talking about cryptocurrency, inflation, oil and gas, all kinds of things. So, and I have a special discount for you when you register for the event. If you use code BACOT, BACOT, the number 3, the number 0, you will get a 15% discount on your ticket price. So make sure you sign up soon. Those early bird ticket prices are going to end soon. So make sure you get your tickets. All right, so how to get in touch with us. We're super easy to get in touch with. You can go on the website, chat with us live. It really is run by the IRA specialist and the transaction specialist. No robots there, so we'd love to chat with you. Call us, our phone number. I just love it because we do think this is so fun. 855-FUN-IRAs. You can email me directly, nicole.bacot@questtrust.com, or email the whole team at iraspecialist@questtrust.com. Whoop. There we go. So before I leave you, yes, it's important to come to these webinars. Yes, I'm sure that y'all took a bunch of notes and you learned a lot, and that's amazing. But it doesn't really do anything if you don't do anything with it. So let's take some action today. Let's do something different. And what harm can it possibly cause? Because you can open up the account for free through April 18th. We are running that amazing special. So make sure you're getting in touch with your IRA specialist. Call us up. We'd love to help you out. Again, that code for the free account is tax-free22. The code for the Quest Expo discount was BACO30. We are here. We are waiting to hear from you, and we are happy to help. So thanks so much, guys, for joining us on another Tuesday edition. It was a pleasure being here with you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Hope to see a lot of you tonight at our crypto event. We are so excited about it. Don't forget to call us and open that account. Open it for free, and we'd love